I'm going to start with The Room. I think there's a part in this movie that sums up the whole movie perfectly with the dialogue that's said. Now, I'm going to paraphrase what this dialogue is a point where the hoochie girl, I think her name was Lisa, right?
Yes. The whole movie is everybody is either sleeping with or wants to sleep with Lisa.
Yes. Lisa is talking to Mark, which is a guy that she's sleeping with on the side now. And she says something along the lines of this. You know what? I decided I'm going to go do what I want to do. Not sure exactly what it is I want to do. Mark, what do you think I should do? And it literally sums up the whole movie in a nutshell. I'm just so flabbergasted by this movie. First off, the Tommy Wiseau, what is his name?
It's Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. This guy has zero stage presence. He has like one mood, and it's like, what the crap are you so jolly, happy, melancholy about? Like his parents could be blown up in front of you, like, well, that was disappointing. Every scene he's on, the stuff in the background steal it from him. That's the first thing I want to mention. At the very beginning, they go up the stairs, and the boy, Danny, I think his name was, I like to watch you guys. That's not creepy.
Now, yes. I would like to. I like to. It implies that he's done it before.
You don't just blurt that out to somebody.
And the way they react, and they sound like they're okay with it. It's like, well, as long as we didn't know you were there, I guess it's okay.
Danny, that's great. Next time, just bring the camera.
Yeah, Danny. I like to watch it. Me and Mark. I didn't do it.
I think there was a dialogue part where the mom says, no one else listens to me. The girl replies back, you're right about that, Mom. Because that's not messed up. So how about this? Do you remember when I think their mother walked in? They're about to get it on her. I guess his name was Mike, not Mark. I guess Mike wanted to shake her hand, but she refused. But then she goes, sits on the couch where they're doing it.
The other couple that they knew using their apartment for some alone time. And then like the mom goes and says, this place is like Grand Central Station. People constantly going in and out.
Now, I'm wondering, there's a coffee shop scene in the movie. I wonder how that coffee shop is in business, seeing how it did not charge anybody. They're like, what do you want? I want a double cappuccino mocha venti. Okay, here's your cup, go.
Maybe they charge you when you leave. They want you to stick around and get more food.
No, because Tommy LaRusso left, and he didn't even pay then. And I don't even think he drank his drink. He just like walked out. But my biggest question here, what the crap was Tucker Carlson doing at the party?
Okay, I can answer that one question. Do you remember earlier, there's another guy with glasses who they're talking to, and they end up playing football in the tuxedos with him?
Oh, God, the let's throw the ball around.
So that guy, the actor, he couldn't stick around for the whole movie. So they literally recast him in the middle of the movie. And that Tucker Carlson looking guy you're talking about is the same character played by a different actor.
You're kidding. I thought maybe they brought Tucker Carlson in because they wanted to make some news out of the story. Wow.
It's like it's a TV show. Or they recast in the middle of a season. Yeah, it throws everybody off, but usually it's a minor character. It's a movie. You don't recast in the middle of a film.
All I have to say to that is, I'm not here. And if I was not here, I didn't get this letter.
This movie is a classic in the fact that it's so bad. We're just having fun making fun of it. And that's the beauty of one of these type of films. One you got to see now is you got to watch The Disaster Artist. And that's a movie that is about the making of this movie.
Okay.
And that's how crazy this movie is. There's a movie about making this movie. They do midnight showings of this film, and people will bring in plastic spoons, and they will throw spoons at the screen. And I couldn't understand why they were doing this. I just heard, why are they throwing plastic spoons? And if you watch it in HD, apparently, you could see it clear enough where all the picture frames have pictures of spoons.
Weird.
It's all because they went to the store, and that was the stock photo that was in all the frames. I mean, it has to be, unless somebody is just obsessed with spoons.
I think the less I know about this movie, the better I'm off.
Tommy Wiseau thought this was going to be his Citizen Kane, so maybe the spoons have some kind of meaning to him that nobody else knows about.
Maybe it's there's some sort of depth that we haven't been able to understand because it's so above our intellect level, but probably not actually.
And what's going to suck about this is when I make the video for this, he personally polices the internet. The fact that we say negative stuff about the movie is not going to help.
So if you're listening, Tony Delinqua, I'm waiting for The Room too. I guess I got another hour and a half to waste of my life.
I actually went in the chat GPT and asked it to write me a Room 2. And it wrote me one where Tommy Wiseau's a ghost and this couple buys his apartment or whatever and he haunts them trying to get retribution against Lisa and Mark.
Were these people all living in the same little apartment complex also?
Yeah. So the way way was like Mark had a place in that apartment complex. Tommy was paying for Danny's apartment while Danny goes to college. I don't know if it was like implied or something like that Danny is like slow, but I can't tell from the guy playing him. He didn't play it like he was slow, but I guess that's what I heard from somebody else who like deep dived this movie. It was that character was supposed to be like mentally slow or something, and I'm like, well, then the actor didn't really play that off. He just played it like he was like a teenager.
Teenager that wanted to hop into bed with them and have a threesome.
Well, it's San Francisco, man. They established that the very first shot in the movie.
You know what I loved is the part where they're having the party and Lisa's like, okay, everybody, let's go outside. And everybody goes outside and she shuts the door with Mike still in there. And like, she's like, okay, now we can have grinding time. And I'm sitting there going, well, I guess I'm learning in this movie, you two are not the most important characters because I think everybody outside would notice that you two weren't there if you had any sort of relevance. How are you going to send everybody outside and then be like, okay, I've got enough time to get it on with somebody inside and no one's going to know?
Sounds like somebody who never wrote anything or read a script before and they were trying to put stuff together. Stuff's overly explained. Scenes are too long. He didn't edit the thing. He hired an editor. That just tells me that they didn't have enough footage to cover 90 minutes. They were letting scenes run for too long. One of the stories I heard about this was digital cameras had just been coming around. Star Wars Episode 2 was done completely on digital. So Tommy Wiseau didn't know if digital would be better than film. So he literally rented the same type of digital camera that Lucasfilm was using for Star Wars and a 35 millimeter camera. And he had them both film at the same time. And people think he used the digital footage, and which means that all this film footage from the whole movie, which means that this movie could be released in 4K, is all sitting somewhere, probably baking in somebody's garage. They don't know where he got the money from. They did a lot of stuff you don't have to do. Exterior shots, like when they're on the top of the building, they could have went to the top of the building where they were shooting and get the same exact view, but instead they did it in front of a green screen.
You could tell too.
Why are you wasting money on this stuff? You can use the argument, well, it might not sound good because there might be wind and there's natural noise and all that. I'm like, yeah, but you know how much cheaper it is to have somebody come in and do some voiceover work than it is to digitally replace the background and have it move with the camera? Because if they were just standing still, that's easy to do. I could do that. But to have it track with the camera, you got to know what the hell you're doing, and that's money. It's almost like he went there just to get people jobs.
He solved unemployment.
People who were part of the film, you had to be there every day for the whole shoot, whether or not you were on call for that day, which pissed off a lot of the actors because usually you only have to be there if you're on the call sheet. Also, he had his own private bathroom. Well, like I said, this was supposed to be a dramatic film. This was going to be his Citizen Kane. He went to watch it for the first time and the test audience was laughing.
Yeah.
And he got like upset. He was upset about it. It kind of like went off like a light bulb in his head. Oh, people are coming to watch it to laugh. Well, of course it was a comedy. Mm-hmm. And that's why it works. This guy was not trying to make a bad movie. He was trying to make the greatest movie ever made. In a way, he kind of accomplished his goal. Mike, I did not make a bad movie, Mike. I did not. I did not. Hey,
that started to sound like Hans and Franz.
I did not hit her. I did not. I did not. Hey, Mark. Oh, he got so pissed off of her, he ended up putting her in the hospital. Ha, 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 ha. Funny story, Mark. What? And then, like, Danny with the drugs, all of a sudden, like, he's getting, like, held up at gunpoint by this gangster you never see again. They never make another reference to it. It's almost like it's a story outside of a story. This is almost like it was a treatment for the first season of a TV show more than a movie. Here's clips from every episode of season 1 of The Room. It doesn't really make a cohesive story.
Don't worry about how much you owe them. I've got enough. I'll just pay them myself, and you can just do more drugs, and I'll keep paying them.
And what kind of drugs? Don't worry about it. All of a sudden, like, this woman who, like a scene or two before, is like, who the fuck is this Danny kid, and why do you have him around? He's such a leech. Now she's like, well, Danny, they care about you. No, Grandma, you just told your daughter to drop this kid like a bad habit 2 minutes ago, and now you're saying that you got to fight for his life? That just mean that whatever you say doesn't really reflect how you feel, and you're just putting on a front that you're a bitch? The characters don't make any sense. That's the point. It's like everything just sounds like he bought a book on how to write and read the first chapter. Tommy calls everybody somebody by their title. You're my future wife. Nobody goes and says that. Even if you said fiance, nobody goes and says you're my fiance all the time. You call the woman by her name.
The creepy boyfriend. It's like the forced boyfriend. And I think the mother nailed it best where she was like, he's financially secure.
He's so financially secure, he's paying for 2 apartments when he probably could just get one bigger apartment and give Danny a room if Danny means so much to him. He didn't make the promotion. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I saved them so much money. I saved them bundles.
I'm Geico.
I didn't hit her. I did not. Oh, hey, Mark. You're supposed to be super defensive, and you're upset that your future wife is accusing you of hitting her. And now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, what's up, buddy? Hey, best friend. And then the whole thing when, like, Mark's talking about, like, when a girl got put in a hospital, and he's like, ah, ha, ha, that's a funny story, Mark.
Maybe he's the one that's on drugs going down. Maybe that's why he can pay for the drugs is because he knows the person that after Danny.
Maybe he's actually the dealer. That's where he actually makes his money.
I'll just pay myself.
Don't worry, Danny. I'll take care of it. It's a lot of money. Don't worry, Danny. I'll take care of it. How are you going to take care of it? Well, you technically owe the money to me.
I'll just erase it with a pencil.
So Tommy's selling drugs to the guy with the gun who's then selling it to Danny. Now that Tommy knows that Danny's a user, he could just skip the middle guy and just say, Danny, don't tell my future wife.
If you're going for a promotion, you can't be the one selling. You have to have that middleman.
Yeah, that's true. So he's thinking about his job. He's worried about the people at the bank or he saved them bundles. I'm done with this world.
I think we've beaten this one to death by now.
He just trashes the apartment in the most obscure way I've ever seen. I swear Carol Burnett did a better job of trying to cover up the noise in the background on noises off than what this guy did.